Hello and welcome to level 149 of the Thoughts and Players podcast, the gaming podcast with bold takes and no strings attached. I am Jeremy. Here's my compadre, David.
What up?
David, how is your evening going today?
I'll tell you what. My
Mm,
evening is going in the worst possible way, in the best
mm,
possible way. All right. I
mm,
overfilled my stomach
mm-hmm.
with food,
Yeah,
and it makes me crave water, so I'm drinking water. So that's not
there you
helping. And
go.
it's a war in there,
Uh-huh.
and both sides are losing.
See, it's interesting you say that. I've had the theory for years, and apparently that my fiance has been fervently trying to push as or prove as being wrong, and I still yet remain to be, swayed that when you're really full, you drink water, and the water helps make you less full because it compresses the food. I've always thought about it. I've always thought of it as like, if let's say you're putting down a paver patio, right?
Hmm.
You put the gravel on top of it. What are you supposed to do? You wet the gravel so it compacts better. Okay? I would think that food is in the stomach, it works the same way. The food's just kind of there, right? You pour some
Hmm.
water on it. You think about a paper towel. Think about you had some stuff, newspapers crumpled up. You pour water on, what happened? The newspapers, they start to wilt down a little. You compact them. So maybe, right now you might feel full, but maybe in, another 5, 10 minutes, you might be feeling okay. The other possibility is that you'll feel much worse because my theory is incorrect. But I think that
Listen,
I think my theory has some merit.
it does. Okay, this is now we're talking about this isn't a gaming podcast anymore at this point.
Mhm.
Listen, you have some merit here because when I do overstuff myself,
Mhm.
eventually the breaking down hurts so much because it's not all the way full. So I have to drink water so it's full, and it doesn't hurt anymore. And I have
There
to
you go.
constantly drink water every like 10, 15 minutes or else I'm in pain.
Yeah. There you go. See, I knew it. I knew it. My uncle has a theory that if you're really full, help get yourself unfull, you should eat ice cream. Now that's just ridiculous. Uh, but it's a theory he has. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, chickens, ducks, and hens, welcome into this level 149 of the Thoughts and Players podcast. We have oh yeah,
You're becoming very robotic-y and your camera is not very focused at all.
it's not.
No, like you were pixels. You're more clear now that you're not moving.
Oh really?
But yeah,
Okay,
I'm not sure what's going on.
something to keep a lookout for. Maybe
Ooh,
people that
you
are
sound better
watching.
too.
Oh, good, good, good. People let us know if we're having some weird issues. I don't know because we've been using Teams to record now for a good bit, so it seems to have been mostly fine, I would
Yeah,
say.
this is like the first time
Yeah,
I've had an issue on my end.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, we hope you enjoy your welcome in, and you're like, hey, I'm digging it. What you guys got up? Well, we're gonna go through the usual topic of talking about the games that we've been playing, and then we've got a really cool
Mhm.
kind of topic to put a button on some things and kind of come back to it, offer some thoughts and some bold takes. But before we get there, let's start where we always start, talking about the games that we are playing. Who wants to start off with this one? I can
I'll
go,
go.
or okay, okay.
All right. We got our usual. I hit Grandmaster, like I said, in Rivals, and it's been a very unpleasant time. I'm back in Diamond 1, so we'll see. We'll see how long it takes to get back in there. And then Frag Punk, highest I've been is Diamond 2. I'm in Diamond 3 again, so it's been rough. It's been rough out here, but it's been
Okay,
all right. I'm still learning. That's what I'm telling myself.
yeah,
And I've played maybe 3 or 4 games of TFT. That's what I've been playing.
okay. Nice, short, right to it. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, okay, cool, cool.
What you
Um,
got?
as far as the games that I have been playing, so I have not touched Ghost of Yote for a minute
Mm.
here. I think that my kind of looking into that has gone by the wayside. I talked about before me playing a game called Chef, a restaurant tycoon. I have put some
Yes.
more hours into that. I've been exploring that. But I've also just been going back and like trying to play some older games too. So I have played a little bit of, let's see here, what is it? Because it's um all PC stuff so far. I did go back and play a little bit of the executive movie industry tycoon because I need to get caught back up in our let's play
Mm.
on that. So I've been playing
Hmm.
that.
Okay.
And I did play just a touch of Mountain Blade Bannerlord. They released a new DLC expansion, whatever thing called War Sales, which introduces naval combat. So that's really cool. Trying to see how that's like. The update has also broke some things, but eh, you know, I mean, they don't really touch the game, and then they come back two or two and a
uh,
half years after they put the game out and said, "Hey, here's a new DLC," and then it breaks some more things. So it's like, okay, well, what? I mean, I don't know what to do. So, so I
I
don't know
don't think they
how.
do either.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer I want to be in Mountain Blade, but I did touch that for a little bit.
Okay.
It's another game that I like. It, there's some things with it where that made me like not really play the game mostly. So this is, I feel like, a theme for me that's been happening the whole time.
Hmm.
You can, but you kind of can't effectively kill everyone, and that introduces an issue when you're trying to lead a rebellion of a nation.
Hmm.
And so you're trying to kill all the royal clans so that therefore your clan can take over. And it's like, oh no, you just don't end up becoming the leader. Like they still just remain an opposing faction. You conquer all their castles, you conquer all their settlements, and they just exist as a full faction of themselves. They aren't dispersed or become smaller kind of clan tribes or anything like that. So it's kind of like that was kind of demotivating in playing the game because I'm like, oh well,
Yeah.
I can't just overthrow completely, a government, right? Like that's kind of sucks. So I've been wading into the weeds of like, using mods and different things like that to kind of beef up the experience. I'm grateful that this has like, Steam Workshop where you can easily integrate some mods, but also I use Nexus, the Vortex to also put some mods in there. So I've been trying that. But that's mostly what I've been playing. It's kind of a split of those three games, a little bit of each, you know.
All right. Well, nice repertoire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is it for the games. I'm sure they'll change from week to week. Um, I
Yeah.
mentioned before that Game Pass has like $1 for their 1 month. I might just hop in here to try to play some Clear Obscure Expedition 33 since it's basically the one of the greatest games ever made. Um, as a result of
What?
its, as a
No,
result,
it have to win like awards or something.
well, I let's get into that, huh? That's our topic. Is that recently was the Game Awards
Oh,
that went down, Jeff Keighley's Game Awards. I think I saw a couple of YouTube videos that were referencing some report that last year's Game Awards, collectively viewership wise, had more viewers than the Super Bowl. So,
dang.
dang, right? Wouldn't think that.
No.
Um, I would think it was just maybe a few million, dweebs, just kind of, watching it or something like that. And I mean, I say dweebs affectionately. Uh, but yeah, it's
I was gonna say, are the sports people the nerds now? Do we are we
oh,
are we the cool kids now? You
a
nerd, you play
nerd.
football?
Yeah, no, right. Kind of. That's kind of true, right? Yeah, but yeah, so it's pretty crazy. But yeah, they had their game awards. A bunch of things went off. We're going to talk about some of the announcements, some of the things we're excited about that we got from that. But we also want to review some of our predictions and categories of games that we went through. There's not a lot of surprises, I think, in who won, but just there is some interesting things to talk about there. So I think again we'll kind of save game of the year for last.
Yeah.
But let's see here. I think maybe the one that we felt like was the most kind of like I felt was one of the most useless categories for the year was most anticipated game.
Yeah.
Surprise, Grand
Let's
Theft
be
Auto
real.
6 won. I mean, I don't
No, come
it,
on.
it's kind of a ridiculous thing
What?
to have there.
For real. Honestly, as long as that game is anticipated, don't have the category. Just don't waste people's time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Save yourself a trophy.
I mean, you could have put some of the biggest if you would have put other huge franchises up against it, it still would have won. Like if the choices were between Grand Theft Auto 6, The Elder Scrolls 6, The Last of Us Part 3, I don't know, Halo Infinite. If you put all those on there and said which one's the most highly anticipated game, Grand Theft Auto 6 would still win, I think, by a landslide.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, all right, I guess technically, but why even have this category? You know, this is kind of dumb. So really, like, no surprise there. Some of the other, I think the really only other really interesting one from my standpoint is if we look at best ongoing game, because that's the one where I felt like I had a very strong feeling of who should win it, but I felt like it could have went either way.
Right.
Just based on the criteria, right? You had what was it again? You had Fortnite, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm
You
going
had
Fortnite, Final Fantasy 14,
yep, Helldivers
Helldivers
2,
2, Rivals, and No
Marvel
Man's
Rivals,
Sky.
and then No Man's Sky. And so I felt strongly that No Man's Sky deserved to take that, and it did end up winning that category.
Very
So
surprisingly, but
I
well
think
done.
so. Yeah,
Well
I
done.
thought for sure that it would either go to
I thought it was
either
Rivals just
I
because
thought it
it's
was either
Marvel.
yeah, I thought it was either Rivals or Helldivers 2. Rivals because of the brand and
Hmm.
Helldivers 2 because of the culture. Like culturally, Helldivers 2 in gaming feels a little bit more in vogue and kind of in the zeitgeist right now. But was No Man's Sky, and they've Hello Games has put in the work to get that. So congrats to them.
Yeah.
Um, Everything else, I mean, we can go through. We've probably already know who took some of these. So if we look at best debut indie, I don't know if we talked about in that previous one, we talked about the game Megabonk that ended up getting disqualified
Yes.
or pulled himself out because he's like,
Yeah.
this isn't technically my debut game. But the game got voted back in because he did that. Everyone voted the game back into the awards as a nominee. So I think it actually was in that category. But let's see here. If we go through best debut, it's not on this list that we're referencing, but they actually were like a nominee. But so it would have been Megabonk, Blueprints, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Despelat or Despelate, I don't know, and Dispatch. And the winner of debut indie game was Clair Obscur Expedition
Yeah.
33.
I mean, we that's what we said when we were starting this one and the
Hmm.
last double. It's like this is just kind of it's an unfair year, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would agree with that. So that took best debut indie game. We also have just best independent game. And David, who do you think may have took best independent game?
Well, I don't know, man. As long as Claire, oh, you know what? No, Claire was in there. Claire
Yeah,
won.
yeah, yeah. So it won best debut indie game and best independent game. So I mean, way to go there. Now, one place that I've seen a fair bit of contention in regards to some results was in best RPG. Um, so if we go to best RPG for those that may not be remembering what those selections were, they were Avowed, Kingdom Come 2 or Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, The Outer Worlds 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Clair Obscur Expedition 33. David, who do you think
Hmm.
won best RPG?
I don't know. Monster Hunter.
That would be a very compelling upset, but fortunately or unfortunately, it went to Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Now, this is one that I've seen from a lot of people have um the most kind of like I don't really like that from the standpoint that from what I've heard from a lot of RPG people, they felt like best RPG should have went to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Mm,
Um, I can see that from some elements. Again, I have not played either game. I plan to play both games pretty soon, so I can probably give a bit more of a concerted opinion on that way after the fact. But uh that's kind of the one thing that I've heard. I said before about No Shot. I haven't played the Outer Worlds 2, but if it's similar or possibly an improvement on the first Outer Worlds, I understand it being there. Monster Hunter Wild had a huge launch and it's a huge popular franchise, so I understand that kind of being there. I mean, from yeah, I can't tell from if I'm judging strictly on surface level and what I feel compelled to think of as an RPG. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 probably fits that a little better, but credits to Claire Obscure, they came in and did their thing.
I was just
So
gonna say, there's probably just the level of role playing in the game just seems to be a lot more
yeah,
in Kingdom Come.
yep, yep.
But since it's technically there, it's technically an RPG.
Hmm.
I can see why they say that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that leaves two more categories, which is best narrative. So if we go to best narrative, we've got Silent Hill F, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Ghosts of Yote, Death Stranding 2, and Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And in a surprising turn of events, and by surprising, I mean not surprising at all, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 took best narrative. Um, I don't know what the story is. I can't really speak 100% to the only one I can speak to is Ghost of Yote because I've platinumed it. That's a weird thing that I can actually say now. I
That's
platinumed this. Um, and I said before that I felt like based on what I knew about these other games that Ghost of Yote didn't really have a shot in this category. I think it's obviously good
I
enough to
remember
be
that.
nominated, but not to take
Not
this.
win it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, so with best narrative out, that leaves game of the year.
Yeah.
And for game of the year, which came down to Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Claire Obscure took game of the year. So it naturally fits that if this is your game of the year, it has to be your best debut indie game. And if it's your best debut indie game, it has to also be your best indie game. So those three fall in line. I felt like a lot of the other things, obviously, they could shake out a little bit differently. One may think, well, if you have the best game, it's because you have the best game direction and the best narrative and the best art direction. Not completely. There are games that may excel in art direction that don't excel in narrative, and but there's like they're the sum of their parts kind of is the thing you assess. But it took game of the year. So Claire Obscure, I think, won 9 awards at the Game Awards. I think it was.
I think it won everything it was in. Won that one.
Did it win everything? It probably
Won
did win
that
everything it was
one.
in.
Oh, it didn't win best audio design.
That went to Battlefield 6.
Yep.
Wow. Wow, very
Then
interesting.
best performance, 3 out of the 6 or 7 attendees. Yeah, 3 out of the 6 were
Yeah, yeah,
from Expedition 33.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, Jennifer English ended up winning it. Um, it did not get innovation in accessibility. It wasn't nominated there. That went to Doom: The Dark Ages. Surprising. And who you think of? Tell me when you hear the word accessibility, does your mind think, "Oh, Doom"? Yes, surely Doom.
You can kill the bad guys in all shapes and ways and forms.
It is accessible to everyone to kill demons. We should not limit it to just a few select people. Games for Impact, which is one I don't think we really talked about, but it's one we kind of had on our radar. South of Midnight ended up winning that one, which kudos to them. That's really cool to
For
see.
real.
That they actually got some love there. The best community support went to Baldur's Gate 3 and Larian Studios. Good for them for still be getting love for BG3. Let's see here. Best action game went to Hades 2. It would have went to Claire Obscure if they decided to do full-on action RPG rather than turn-based combat. If they went full action combat, it would have won Best Action too. Uh, Best Action Adventure Game went to Hollow Knight Silksong. I'm surprised that Claire Obscura didn't end up in that somehow. Best Fighting Game went to Fatal Fury. Also surprised. Why isn't obviously it's not a fighting game, but still, it's we're
Wow.
kind of getting to that, you know. Best Sim Strategy Game went to Final Fantasy Tactics. Now, I mean, technically, Claire Obscura is a turn-based RPG, so there's a little bit of strategy, ain't there? Best Sports Racing Game went
You're
to
pulling
Mario
hairs there,
Kart
man.
World. I'm just, you know, and then like Best Multiplayer Game went to Arc Raiders, which makes sense. That game's been huge. I don't know if you've played anything with
I
Arc
haven't, but I've been seeing
Raiders.
clips of it.
Yeah, it's huge extraction shooter. Um, the best adaptation went to The Last of Us season
Yeah, I
2.
wanted to bring this up. That
Yeah.
you know they're doing a good job if they won that because one, we all the big shebang
Mm-hmm.
on part 2. A lot of people were like, "I'm not watching this anymore," or they were like, "I'm not playing this anymore." There's a big shift in how people viewed the show and the game, and for it
Mm-hmm.
to win, it's like they did a good job.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a combination of things. They probably did. I mean, I haven't seen all of it. Actually, I haven't seen any of season 2.
I did every
Okay.
so good, so
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I think if it's a solid show, it's also up against pretty weak competition. I mean, a Minecraft movies and best adaptation. Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like where are we at as
Yeah,
a society
I don't know.
when a Minecraft movie is in there? Um, and then a lot of these, most of these are kind of except for maybe Until Dawn. I can't remember. Until Dawn, I think was live action, but the rest of these are animated, right? The Devil May Cry and Splinter Cell. I think
Those
those
two
are
are,
animated
yes,
Netflix shows. Yeah.
yes.
So yeah, Last of Us season 2 took it. And then yeah, they've got some other stuff. Esports game being Counter Strike 2. Best esports athlete. Don't know who this is. Chovy
Yeah,
Jungjoon, I
I
think.
have no idea.
Then best esports team, Team Vitality, and then content creator of the year, Moist Critical. So that's your game awards. So obviously we're talking about the winners, but there's other stuff that happened at the game awards. There were announcements made. So we want to kind of talk about some of those announcements, some of these things that we saw that we're maybe a little hyped for, or that we have some interest in. Um, and so yeah, I am interested to kind of get your thoughts on some stuff. I'm wondering if we want to start with. There's a lot of big announcements, a lot of things to obviously be hyped about. I'm
Yeah,
wondering if we
throw
want
it
to.
all.
I wonder if we want to start where it seemed like most of the world started, and that
Hmm.
is with the unveiling of the Street Fighter movie trailer.
Oh
Uh,
God. Oh God.
it looks
I
terrible.
don't
It,
know. Yeah.
it looks like they're leaning into the camp. Now, if it's intentional lean into the camp, that is actually like self-aware. This lines up as a perfect movie for me. I
I
think
was
I
gonna
think
say, like,
me and my cousin might go actually see this thing when it
if
comes
it's on
out.
purpose.
Yeah, yeah. If it's on purpose, but I remember I talked with Corey and stuff. We were like, remember the previous Street Fighter? We had that conversation
Yeah.
before. I'm like, you thought that the previous Street Fighter movie functioned the way it intended. And he's like, "Did I say that?" And I'm like, "Yes, you did." He's like, "Well, yeah, I think I do believe that." I'm like, "Okay."
uh,
So yeah, but that's one thing that came out of it. I saw the trailer. My initial thoughts were, it looks campy. It looks kind of cool. Looks terrible. So we'll see. But what was your reaction to it?
just the same. Just it's the gaudiness,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope it's intentional because when it's intentional, everything comes off better, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. Like it's like, okay, you guys know what you're doing and dealing with here, but let's see what your effort gives us.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, not too bad.
Yeah.
But when they're trying, and trying and trying, and it's just like it's not working, man. It just comes off all wrong.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I it's hard because like I love the Mortal Kombat movies, but it makes more sense story based,
Mm-hmm.
right? I guess I just don't know Street Fighter lore as much,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we'll see.
We'll see. Basically, what we'll see if it's actually bad or good bad. I think that's kind of like where my mind's at
Yeah,
with it.
it's bad or good bad.
Yeah. Um. So let's see here. Do we want to? Is there like one? Is there one kind of announcement or trailer reveal or anything like off the top of your head that's like something that you want to either kind of talk about or say like, hey, I'm hyped for this. What are your thoughts?
That would be something I would love to talk about, but I don't have a list in front of me.
Okay. I can, if you want to look at, I can send
If
over one.
yes,
I
that would
can
be
I can
great.
kind of talk about maybe not the one that I'm the most hype about, but I can actually talk about one that I have some interest in. I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. So let's see. The first one, oh, this page didn't load for it. So the first one outside of that Street
Typical.
Fighter whole thing that happened, um, there were a couple of really big announcements. One is that let's see here. Oh yeah, there was the reveal of the trailer for Control Resonant.
Ooh.
So I've said before, people probably know that I'm a pretty decent fan of Remedy's approach to storytelling. And I know that I think you said you had played and
Yeah,
completed
I beat it.
Control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't beat the part 2 or the DLC, whatever it was. I beat
Hmm.
the original game.
Yeah.
I never finished it at whatever after that is. But yeah, that was a very good game,
Yeah. So
in my
Control
opinion.
Resonant was kind of unveiled or further expanded on. I have Control. I actually want to beat it. I want to play and beat it. Now I'm trying to keep myself from buying games that are currently on Steam sales so I can actually play the games that I need to play. I mean, I'm going to
Right.
fail at that, but I want to try to at least.
It's the
But
effort
yeah,
that counts.
it was like, oh, a new Remedy game. This is awesome. This is some cool stuff to see. Control, by all accounts, very good game. So I'm interested to see what they do there. And I want to get back into it and like really kind of get into that world because they share it. It shares it with Alan Wake universe and different stuff like that. So
Hmm,
yeah, it's really cool. But that was kind of like my first takeaway for the Game Awards. Um
nice. I'm going through all the list. So like
yeah.
Resident Evil Requiem, of course I'm looking for that. Leon's in that one. It's been confirmed through a leak,
Hmm.
accidentally or whatever, and then they confirmed it. So we'll see how that goes. Like you said, Control. I'm ready for that one. Oh, there's a Dungeons and Dragons one.
Hmm.
Okay, Control.
The other one that I think was interesting was that we got a good bit of Tomb Raider Lara Croft
I was gonna say
in
I
this Game
just came
Awards.
across this. There's Catalyst and
Yeah,
Legacy of Atlantis.
yeah. So Legacy of Atlantis is the remake of the original. And they have a new one that's coming out. You're gonna see. I mean, if you go to any kind of video game website, if they're running ads, I mean, I was, had some of it on just to reference some notes, and I'm just seeing ads of Lara Croft, and it's like gun, 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 butt shot, gun, 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 butt shot. I don't know why that's going on, but that's happening. But
uh,
yeah, original Tomb Raider coming back, expanding more on the Tomb Raider games. I think the Tomb Raider franchise was the rebirth they did of it was really well done, really well. I enjoyed the first one a good bit. Really enjoyed Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think that's probably my favorite in the franchise. And then there's Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Um, yeah, they're kind of like your original, but the thing that Uncharted ate, they aped it back, and they did a really good
right.
job. So I'm kind of interested to see what they do with those because those are going to be pretty compelling.
I think so too. I played the original Tomb Raiders and I had a good time with them.
Hmm. Yeah.
I see there's an Invisible Versus. I didn't even know that there was a, you know, Street Fighter in the Invisible or Invincible world.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then Orbitals looks cute. It says it's a new co-op space adventure exclusively for Switch 2, and the first gameplay trailer showed split screen gameplay. So I think that would be cute, maybe like another couples game to play, like Split Fiction and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Um, there's a so one of the things that was shown was it debuted before, but they did a first ever kind of like in-game, like gameplay action look at it. It's Lords of the Fallen 2. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the original Lords of the Fallen, which was basically a Souls-like that was made by the same studio that did the Surge games. So I've talked about
Okay.
Surge before because I didn't really play Surge 1, but I really like Surge 2.
Mm-hmm.
I played a little bit of the original Lords of the Fallen. And it was like, I see what you're trying to go for, but it's not quite. They remade their own game like 3 years after they or 4 years after they did their original. And I'm like, this is confusing. And apparently it was a better Souls-like. Better enough to where it now gets a sequel. So they made a fail Souls-like, remade the fail Souls-like to where it's not a fail Souls-like, and now that Souls-like has a sequel. I find that really interesting. It's a weird journey for a game franchise. I mean, I would much rather. I guess it didn't do the numbers. I would much rather prefer a Surge 3 compared to a Lords of the Fallen 2. But that's what they're doing. So that was a pretty interesting announcement. The the announcements that I'm maybe the most excited about or most interested in. There's a
Mega
bunch.
Man.
There is. That's one
There's
I'm
a new
not.
Mega Man.
Is there? Oh,
That's
I must have missed
crazy.
it.
Mega Man Dual Override 2027.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I missed that one.
I mean, it's definitely not in my top 5, but that's awesome.
Yeah. So I have, but I'd say the three that I'm most interested in, and I'll go like through levels of like third most, second most, and then first most. So third most
Okay.
is this game called No Law.
Mm.
It's developed by Neon Giant. They made the game The Ascent. I'm not sure if you heard or remember that game, but it was basically an isometric twin stick shooter, kind of like a cyberpunkish type of atmosphere. I didn't love it. I was really hyped for it, but didn't really love it. But they're going in a different direction. This is a first person perspective. You follow Gray Harker, a retired military veteran living in another neon soaked metropolis called Port Desire. He leaves active service for a life of peace, but one day he is attacked in his home and he sets out to learn the truth behind the encounter. This sounds like a video game version of like a Taken or some kind of Jason Statham movie, and I am all for that. If they just want to call this Jason Statham the game, I'm 100% in. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's kind of like my third most hyped. My second most hyped is I believe if I like reviewed all the things that they announced and I'm not missing anything like an idiot. I don't think it is. Like they announced like the Total War Warhammer 40K. But I'm not really interested into that much. The second one is probably going to be Gang of Dragon, which is basically it's essentially falling in line with the. I don't think it's necessarily following the world of the Like a Dragon series, but it has that look and feel to it. And
Okay.
I've always liked those games. It looks like it's straight up, it's East Asian gangster type thing with like fighting and different stuff like that. And so yeah, I'm always down for that. You know what I'm saying? That's
I do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so that's it. Another big announcement that I'm not that big into just because I'm not that familiar with the series, but this was the big announcement from Larian was Divinity, which is the follow-up in their Divinity Original Sin franchise. So they, it made Divinity Original Sin, they made Divinity Essential Original Sin 2, and then they made Baldur's Gate 3, and now they're going back to Divinity. And it looks hype. But obviously,
Okay.
the announcement I'm most excited about, Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic, the
Yeah,
spiritual
yeah. Let's
successor to
go.
KOTOR. I am super hyped for that. It's being headed up by Arcanaut Games, which is partly ran and directed by Casey Hudson, who was the old game lead over at BioWare, who worked on those original KOTOR games as well as some later
Mhm.
stuff. So I'm a little bit kind of like, I don't know, because you were also there when they made Anthem. So I'm a little bit worried, but also just kind of like really excited to possibly jump back into a KOTOR like Star Wars experience. They also announced another Star Wars game. I think it's kind of like a squadron game or something like that. Do not care, could not care about that less. It's all about Fate of the Old Republic. So I'm excited that we're getting a spiritual successor to KOTOR. Maybe this even sparks an original KOTOR remake. Because I'd be down for that, obviously, too. But I can't wait for this. This is probably a few years off, unfortunately, but at
Mhm.
least they're working on it. So those are kind of like
Yeah,
the three and a half biggest things for me.
three. It's good to know that it's in progress.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I looked through the list. I don't remember if I have more than three or whatever. So I don't have a particular order. But these are the ones that sound interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there's this audio mech, right? It looks like it's a side shooter scroller thing, but
Mm-hmm.
you made the lasers with the power of music, and that's what interests me, right? So maybe it's
Yeah.
like music rhythmy based. Sounds kind of cool. All right, what was the next one? Going down. Ooh, okay, For Loop. It
Yep.
has the Left 4 Dead creator.
Yep.
So that gives me hope. I need to watch a gameplay trailer or something about it. But
Well, and
just
J.J.
knowing
Abram, right?
that, yeah, and
Yeah.
JJ Abram.
Yeah.
So that sounds good. I want to look into that. Let's see, what was the next one? Resident Evil Requiem, obviously. Come on, it's Resident Evil. What are we talking about here?
The boy Leon, right?
Control Resident, like we stated earlier,
Mm-hmm.
sounds good to me. What's with Lego? With Lego games, I don't know what is it.
It's children. It's
It's
just children.
um I might play the Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis because it's a remake.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, like I don't seem interested in Catalyst, so maybe that one. And
Okay.
then Orbitals, if I
Mm-hmm.
watch and see it, if it's a game like Emily and I can play together. Um, Marvel Rivals is in here saying Deadpool has been officially cast, which is very funny. So when they announce a character, they just announce them, and then when they come out for their respected season, they just come out and they're on the roster. But as
Yeah.
soon as they announced Deadpool, they put him in the game, but he's locked. Nobody can select him, and he was in DPS for the past couple weeks. Now he's in the tank role.
Hmm.
So so Marvel is doing Deadpool things with Deadpool, and that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then no, no, Galactic Racer. That's the other one for Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Just by the picture, Phantom Blade Zero looked pretty cool.
I've heard a lot of hype for Phantom Blade Zero. My cousin is pretty hyped for that.
So I need to watch a trailer on that one.
Yeah.
And then High Guard. It's a new
Yes.
first-person shooter from the team of former Apex Legend developers. So it
Yes.
could be the same thing of Obscure 33. These people just got tired of what they're doing at their job, but they love what they do. So they just went off and did whatever. Like exactly like people Respawn originally started with. They left
Yeah.
um, the Call of Duty one, Infinity Ward, and then created Titanfall.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully it's that kind of scenario.
So Highguard is interesting because Highguard has gotten a lot of hate through no
Really?
fault of their own. Through no fault of their own.
Okay.
So
Okay.
one of the reasons why it got hate is because Highguard was revealed as the last trailer for the Game Awards. And that's
Hmm.
usually reserved for a super big announcement, right? So I think before they announced that, they had announced Divinity. So people felt like, well, if anything, you would put Divinity there. This is Larian's next game. Larian's got this huge influence with Baldur's Gate 3 and all this different stuff like that. Like you would put that announcement there. Or maybe you would put Fate of the Old Republic there or something like that. You put this brand new game by this new team. So there was that, right? So they're like, well, he overhyped it. And then what they show is basically it's a hero shooter. It looks like almost every other hero shooter that's out there, with kind of the main difference being that they have horses you can ride in it. So a lot of people were just overwhelmed because they're like, oh, that's what we need, another hero shooter. Um, I think it's compelling from the standpoint of I think the story behind it is more compelling than the game. These are ex Apex employees, right? So it's or I mean I don't know if they're ex employees, but basically, right? They worked on Apex. They've worked for Respawn. They have the DNA of hopefully great FPS gameplay, and now they've gone off to make their own thing. That's a compelling story in and of itself. But then the game kind of appeared to be like a letdown. So it's been
Okay.
unfortunately getting a lot of hate. And it's kind of like, guys, they're just kind of trying to make the game they want to make. A lot of people are
Right.
like, this is going to be Concord. And it's like, well, it might be. It might be.
What one way to find out?
It either is or it
Okay.
isn't, right?
I'll
So
have to watch a trailer on that and see if I am
yeah,
interested in it.
yeah. I'd say check it out. It
Okay.
looks fine enough. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like super
Yeah,
compelling, but
I like
I'm
the
also
artwork at least.
yeah, right. Also I feel like also a lot of people that were saying this aren't people that typically play hero shooters. So I don't know how much their opinion really
Right.
offers to that, right? Like if you're not into
Right.
hero shooters, like if you ask me, hey, do you think this is something that's more compelling than like Concord or Apex or something that already exists? I'm gonna say, well, I don't know because I don't play those games, so I don't know.
Right.
I would say more than compelling than Apex to me, maybe not, but that's because Apex is in a universe that I care about. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not good for that. I would have much more sound opinions on RPGs type stuff than like hero shooter type stuff. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know if it's going to be free to play or not, or if it's going to have like a release thing to it. So that might
Good
be something
question.
that you can eventually jump into to see if you like. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like some of the big stuff, big announcements, things that came out from the Game Awards, and obviously the Game Award winners. It was the night of Clair Obscur Expedition 33,
Pretty
um,
much.
and with some pretty big, interesting announcements that came out. I think the big loser in all this, unfortunately, is Xbox. They seem just totally unrepresented in anything. Um, and so, you know, that's kind of not a great look there. Don't know what's going to happen there. I think I also read an article that says that this November they've hit their lowest in regards to sales of their hardware or anything like that, which makes sense because they've decreased their available inventory. They increased the amount of prices on a lot of their offerings, so it just makes sense. They would just and they're no longer doing exclusive stuff, so they just make themselves increasingly less compelling of an option. So there's no
Right.
surprise there. But yeah, hopefully these games come to fruition. They have some hypeness. Again, I kind of say like I, I I always say I find something that's like, oh, I'm super hyped. I can't wait, right? And then I do because I forget that I was excited for it.
Yep. Yep.
So
Been there.
every once in a while there's a Ghost of Gote that comes out. That's something that I'm hyped for from beginning to end. And I would think that Fate of the Old Republic is that thing,
Hmm.
outside of what will be Nexus Fable that comes out next year. But I mean, I'm out for. I'm genuinely interested in Control Resonant. I want to go and play Control and beat that. I might even just kind of play it in a few different ways. Can play most of it regularly just to kind of get the full experience of the game. I know the game has a God mode in it, so if you don't feel like fussing around with all that skill, you can just
Hmm.
kind of God mode through it if you want. Um, yeah, so I'm really interested in looking at that stuff. And then that no law game. Like I want to be Jason. Like let me be Jason Statham.
Right.
For give me 10 to 15 hours of me being Jason Statham. I'm for it.
Uh,
Um, guess that leads us to the end of this level,
yeah.
149. Final thoughts. And that takes us to of the Thoughts of Players podcast, which takes us to final thoughts where we can offer a final thought about anything related or unrelated to this podcast episode. So, who would like to give a final thought first?
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay. So recently I was out thrifting and I found these really cool pants and the brand is called N Dip. Rip and
Okay.
Dip,
Okay.
right? And they're very, quote unquote, like trippy pants. They're blue and purple in kind of like a tie-dye sense. And then
Okay.
on the sides, they have like different kind of mushrooms that are tie-dye
Okay.
down the sides, and they're just very comfortable. The waistband is like 2 inches wide.
Hmm.
I've never had a pair of pants like that. And the string where you can tie at the waist, it has
Hmm.
the metal things at the end. I forget what they're called. They have a name. You know that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can never remember the name, but they're metal
Yeah. Okay.
instead of like really thin plastic or wax or whatever the other ones use.
Right.
But they're just so comfortable, and I've looked them up, and they're originally like $100,
Hmm.
and I got them at a thrift store, brand
Yeah.
new with tag.
Oh, yeah.
So great find, great
Is
comfort.
this is this a contemporary type of thing, or is this like more retro? Like, as far as like the pants, like the maker of it. You know what I'm saying? Is it
Got
more
it.
like a more kind of like they're manufacturing these pants right now? You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Okay,
yes,
got you.
yes. I did not find the exact pair I have
Mm-hmm.
on their site, so maybe they're like other average stores where they have the same clothes for 3 months and then they update it and then they don't have the other stuff anymore,
Mm-hmm.
kind of situation, like
Mm-hmm.
Hot Topic, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's like that or not, but yeah, I tried to search them and I didn't find my exact pair, but I saw other pairs like it.
Okay, okay. Do they have like a corduroy texture to them or no?
No, actually, it's a
Okay,
smooth.
okay, okay. It's
Yeah.
interesting because I found like there's like a YouTuber we watch
Hmm.
here, a guy that does like like those landscaping kind of YouTube channels where they like go and find like terrible lawns and then they like clean them all up and different stuff
Oh,
like that.
dude, I watch those all the time.
Yeah, well, we were watching a guy that's here that does them here in like Metro Detroit,
We have our
and
own?
yeah, yeah. Um,
Dang.
and
I had no idea.
his channel's like huge, like it's gotten huge. But
Good.
anyway, I forgot the name of he has like a sponsorship or whatever, and he's like,
Hmm.
I just got this brand new shirt you guys should try on for the winter, and he takes it off, and he's like, huh, check it out, corduroy. And he's like, look at
Yeah.
this. He's like, you can feel the
Yeah.
texture. Everyone came and felt the texture. And the only thing I could think of is like, David is literally the only person I know that would want this type of shirt. That would look at it and say, corduroy? He's the
I
like
need that. I
he's the
need
only
that.
one. Yeah. And
That is so funny.
I also find it interesting because we talk about some things we have close to our hearts that we have completely opposing thoughts on.
Hmm.
You are not a fan, I would dare say, even possibly a hater of soup, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
love soup,
Yep.
right?
It's
And you
stupid. Honestly, I hate that I hate soup, to be honest.
and on the opposite end of that, you love corduroy, and I hate corduroy with a
Yeah.
passion. And
Yeah. It's so
I
funny. It's so
and I'm like
funny.
I can't. I'm like this is the only person. This is the only person I know. Yeah, that was funny. So you're digging the pants though. They're gonna be something that
Yeah.
you're, yeah.
It's gonna be a
Still thrifting, huh?
constant in the rotation. For real. For real.
Yeah.
It's it's a great thing, honestly. You're not having to buy like the new clothes and throwing away old clothes and repeating the
Hmm.
process. But it's also like you can think about a story, like where did these pants come from? Who,
Hmm.
what adventures did they have before the adventures I'm gonna take them on?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Um, Final thought for me
Yeah.
is
What you got? What you
um
got?
oh, so final thought for me is that one of the games that I've also been thinking about possibly getting back into was hell, we talked about it. It was one of the games that was nominated on the Game Awards, was Helldivers 2. I think I
Hmm.
said before, I played a
Yes.
little bit of it, and it's about you being a soldier killing big alien bugs. And for my birthday, my cousin gifted me a game I talked about wanting on Steam a lot, which is Starship Troopers Terran Command. Um,
Okay.
if I had to make a list of maybe 100 movies, 100 favorite movies, Starship Troopers is in there somewhere. Um, and so I thought about how like Helldivers is almost kind of like the single. soldier experience of something like a Starship Troopers, and then this Terran Command thing is kind of like the okay, if you were the general or if you were the commander, this is how you set it up. So
Right.
it's kind of like a cool thing. They aren't the same universe, but the kind of the way they exist and you experience them, they kind of feel like they're
Right.
similar or they share a universe. So that's pretty interesting. My plan was to I got it downloaded already, but my plan was to hop back into Helldivers 2 for a little bit and then possibly start playing some Terran Command. But I've also been dabbling with some thoughts of like maybe I need to just go ahead and get this Kingdom Come Deliverance to play these games. Because I think they're games I would actually like. I just need to like make myself get them.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm excited to kind of dive into those, see what the killing bugs thing is like again. Because the little bit that I played of Helldivers 2, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it looks fun
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a
and scary.
fun co-op game. I gotta find some people. I know I got a few friends that run it, so we need to schedule a day. Unfortunately, they're all like everyone is just incredibly busy. So it's like let's try to find some time to run some Helldivers 2. And also, I understand you guys have 2,000 hours in this game, and I have 90 minutes. Just give me a little bit of
Just
patience.
bear with me for a minute
Yeah.
here.
Just have a little patience with me. Yeah, but that's it for me.
All right.
Which means this is the end of level 149 of your Thoughts and Players podcast. If you like what you heard, please like, share, subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast service, or you can follow us on the socials. We're on all of them pretty much. Just look us up at Thoughts and Players or at Thoughts Players, one of those. If you want to support us, there's a couple ways you can do that. One, the merch for the Teespring store. Stuff like this old busted case, not this one exactly, but one that's clean and looks good.
You get a new one, not that
exactly. Get a new one, not that one. Or t-shirts or hats or something like that. Also, if you want to support us on Patreon, we have a Patreon, $2 that gets you thanks credits on the end of each of our video podcast uploads, as well as access to our Patreon exclusive timeline where we might post like some polls and different Q&A questions and different stuff like that. So yeah, that is it for me. David, was there anything else you wanted to add?
Peace.
All right, well, thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next level.